Hey everyone, welcome to our Easter Roundtable for skitguys.com. My name is Carrie Varnell and I am the acquiring script editor at skitguys.com. And we're so glad that you are joining us on this roundtable. So we're going to talk about some ideas and some scripts for you that if you need ideas on how to celebrate Easter in this really weird, really strange times called a global pandemic. We have scripts that are socially distanced as well as Zoom friendly. So we're gonna try and give you a bunch of ideas for how you can do that, how you can think outside of the box. And listen, we want you to be a part of the conversation. So if you have ideas or if you've done any of the ideas that we've said, let us know in the comments. We want to hear from you, and we want you to be a part of this roundtable as well. Let us know any questions or if you have any questions about a script or anything like that, we're here for you. So today with me, I've got some of our writers at skitguys.com. First, we have Dave Tippett. Hey, Dave.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Welcome.
have,
so glad you're here.
Yes, Miss Rebecca Wimmer. Hey, Becca.
Hi.
Hello.
I like the double hand wave.
She does like that.
I do that like all the time.
The
And
double.
we do at the end of every Zoom call.
Are you a pageant girl?
Okay. Am I girl? No.
Is that a no? That's a hard no. Okay. Next we have Mr. Paul Neal. Hey, Paul.
I'm going for the pageant wave. I am a pageant girl.
He's a pageant girl.
I like that. I like it.
Next we have Miss Rachel Benjamin. Hi, Rachel. You got it. You do the flap, the flappy flap. Welcome. We're so glad y'all are here with us and joining us. So we're going to start off with some ideas from Mr. Dave Tippett. David, what you got for us?
Hello, folks. Don't you like this headset? Looks like I'm landing airplanes.
So much.
Like, bring it in here. Come on, land it right here. This way, this way,
What's
this
your
way.
vector, Victor?
That's right.
I didn't get my
great
peanuts.
voice for this thing. Yeah. Traffic and weather on the 10s. Hey, everybody. So, got a couple of monologues that I've put out there, and one I'd like to talk about. It's called Smooth Sailing. It is a monologue with our friend Peter. Our friend Peter, like, you know, we hang out with him.
Who doesn't love Peter? Yeah.
He doesn't love Peter. What a guy. And the object here is it's a monologue. So he comes in and we'll talk about how we can make this Zoomy friendly.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's into the sanctuary. He's excited. He's got his palms and he's just pretending like the crowd's with him. He's, yeah, crowd. That's right. Jesus is awesome. He's fantastic. He's here in Jerusalem. This is a Palm Sunday work. And he's really excited. And he starts kind of talking to himself about things that he kind of turns to this PR guy. Thinking about how he's going to promote Jesus in this coming week. Yeah. So he's thinking about, maybe we can call this Petra Ministries and get him this on this lecture circuit this coming week. I know keychains, chariot stickers, he's brainstorming, he's kicking things around. Then he starts thinking about the coming week. He's like, oh, you know what? I know what I can get him set up here. Tomorrow, we'll do something big at the temple. Yeah, we'll get something big at the temple tomorrow. And then maybe Thursday night, maybe a little insiders dinner, maybe just a small group of folks, and we'll head out to the garden for some meet and greets, with some local, types. We'll get there. And then on Friday, the big rally, right? The big rally, everybody's there. We'll invite the top, Sadducees, those guys and the Romans. And boy, tell you what, if we can get Pontius Pilate to be the special guest, be even better. Maybe he can interview Jesus. Yeah, I got to write this stuff down. This is awesome. He's just brainstorming this kind of stuff. And then he says, and then the emotions will get to a fever pitch and we'll go outside and we'll, and if everybody's getting, just so excited about Jesus being there and Jesus stands in front of everybody for everybody to see. And he stands there and just stands there with his arms out. And we let that moment sit there for a minute to really see that we're making the connection that he's, looking at the crucifixion. Yeah. And he wraps it up by saying, yeah, that can really work. Boy, I got to write this down. I got to get this going. And man, my family, they thought this wasn't going to work out. It's going to work out. And that's the gist of it. If we think about this and I was thinking about it as I was trying to make this Zoom friendly and thinking about this, I think it's a one screen, Peter you can have him run into the screen and he can still do the palm thing. obviously we wanted to make sure, and you guys know this is pretty straightforward if you use a lot of Zoom and different platforms. That camera is your friend, right? You want to make sure that you got good eye contact there.
Yep.
You're not doing this either, but you're good
Right.
eye
Yep.
contact, that kind of stuff. And think about maybe some creative backgrounds. I've literally typed into an image search engine Jerusalem Zoom background, pop, 50 of them came up. And I just picked the one that fit that particular situation that I'm looking for. Music's good, whatever you can come up with as well. So just something to think about when you're trying to do a monologue and using those backgrounds. And obviously when you're doing those monologues, that energy has to be there, especially in this particular work, is that you've got to really keep that going and to keep people as tension and engaged as well going forward. So that's the one work that I just wanted to bring to the table.
And that's called Nothing But Smooth Sailing, Holy Week Hope. And you can find it on skitguys.com.
Yes, you can.
There comes Becca with the look at you.
I'm going to look right now. Type.
Yeah. She got out the markers. Yeah.
I was prepared.
I love it. Well, Dave, thanks so much for
Thank
that.
you.
That's such a good, it's more of a little bit of a lighter script with a definitely heavy message at the end
Right.
there. So if you're looking for something that's character driven like that, be sure and check out Nothing But Smooth Sailing on skitguys.com. And next we have the winner of our background decorations.
It's amazing. It's fantastic. Those
It's me,
clips-
right?
You did.
No, I think my ceiling fan is very Eastery. I don't
Oh,
know.
wait a minute.
That was my next pick.
I'm sorry.
I was afraid I would lose to the ceiling fan.
I didn't know you were entering, Paul.
And I put up chip clips and everything.
You did. We can't see the chip clips right now.
Yes,
You
down
can't see
tip,
them?
so
Oh,
right
you
next
should
to
have
it.
Yeah,
said it
well, we
the
can
same.
now.
There are. I mean, no, what chip clips? I don't see any.
It's very classy. It's very classy. We like that.
You know, I am a classy girl.
Yeah, you are. You for sure are. Hey, Nut Job, what do you have for us?
I have things. I have
Well,
lots
can
of
I just
ideas.
say, Becca,
And I will.
you have been with Skit Guys almost as long as I have. And I'm not gonna give up how many years that's been. So it's a lot. It's
a lot.
but you have a big
It's a lot.
library on skitguys.com. You've written a lot of stuff. So it was really hard for you to sort of narrow down.
Yeah, because I'm so awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you are.
So humble as well.
are.
Chip clips and all. Yeah, so I have been doing it for a while, but specifically now what we're talking about is like what works for now, right? Because it's just a different time right now. So in general, I'm going to start with just a general idea of like that direct address script. So you're going to find through all of us, as we're talking about those scripts, you'll see that the ones that work best sometimes in video format or even as you're socially distancing, physically distancing, are going to be those direct address, looking right there, where you don't have to worry about like crossing and changing props and lots of like direct address. And in that way they can be live, they can be recorded, you can have people side by side and separated, you can have them split screen, recorded, like all that stuff. And also looking for scripts that have smaller casts, so you're not putting above the allotted people, however many that is, wherever you are, that are allowed to be together. So with that in mind, I'm going to highlight first some scripts of mine, which are monologues, and it's the Notorious to Glorious collection. And I love these scripts because they're a little bit meatier. You're going to have to get some actors who have a little in them. And they're not even like typically like Easter stories, but these stories are taking some of those notorious people that we know from the Bible, notorious, and showing that transformational experience that they'll have knowing the risen Lord, right? So when we're talking about Easter, well, what's Easter for? Like, it's going to transform people's lives. So notorious to glorious, then they lead these glorifying lives to God. So those are Zacchaeus, Paul, and there's 3 women's scripts too, which is really good. The woman caught in adultery, the woman who anoints Jesus, and the woman at the well. So those are monologues that you can run with. I also have something called The Story, and on the site, you can do it. There's like an ensemble cast that you could do in like a small group setting if you wanted to like send it to your small groups and say, hey, just have people read 1 through 7. You're just reading through this story. Or there's a duet version, which I think would work really well, either in person or on screen. And The Story, a basic summary is, when I describe it, I call it kind of Christianity 101. So it was like commissioned as like, here, the pastor is not going to do a sermon this week. Can we do this instead? So it was a sermon filler. So it has that kind of length that you might want. It's broken up into 3 parts. You could do it over 3 weeks. You could do it all at one time. You could record it. You could do it in person. And honestly, if you wanted to, it could be done as one big monologue too. It's long, but it really is like, we're talking about Easter, but you have to know how we got to Easter too. So, it goes back to creation, and then the life of Jesus as a child, and through his ministry, and then, the crucifixion and his glorious resurrection. And then from there, it talks about the church, the people who make up the church and their role now living out their Easter lives, So I really like The Story because of that reason. It's not Eastery, but I think it could really fit the bill and really work for this time frame too.
Love that. It can go to like a small group, because how many people are doing that right now that it's like, hey, this is our Easter sermon. That's a great idea. Perfect. I love that.
Yeah, and it also doesn't require, like, if you did it in a small group, it's reading. It's not like, I'm going to be Judas now. I'm going to be Mary. Like, it's just, this is what happened. And it says it's a little sing-songy at points, but it's a kind of a poetic storytelling of Christianity 101.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love
So,
it. Zoom friendly.
Zoom friendly, absolutely. The next one I'm going to talk about is, well, in general, we as writers, we've talked about how Easter doesn't really lend itself, I would say, easily to comedy. It's not like ripe with comedic moments. You're not like, yay, Jesus on the cross, let's laugh about that. You're not gonna, no, stop, no, not gonna happen. But we kind of exist in a time right now where I really think that people are aching for and craving a reason to be joyful. And it is a way of rejoicing whenever we can laugh together. One, I have a couple scripts with this in mind. One is a kid script that could be done really well if you have any sort of outdoor kids events or something, still distance. It's a little bit larger cast, but they could still, because it's mostly that direct address kind of thing, they can still be spaced out, or these are adults who could be telling this story as well. It's called You Can't Have Easter Without, and it is the personification of like those things in Easter. It's, the Easter bunny, it's decorations, it's candy, it's Peeps being personified, saying, you can't have Easter without me. Can you imagine Christmas or Easter without Peeps? And then they start fighting about like, I'm better. And then someone comes out and says, this is Jesus. Like, here's the story of it. So it's really cute. I like that one a lot. And I love writing for kids in general. And the other comedy that I'm going to say is, I have one that's called the Easter Bunny Interrogation. And there's one that there's a 3-person one. Yeah, it was fun to write, and have my husband read it with me too, because I'm like, his face like. You will read. So, it's really, that's how it works in this one. But Easter Bunny Interrogation, and the summary is like, there is someone, and like a journalist who's like interviewing the Easter Bunny, and ultimately like hard-nosed interview, like, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. Why is the Easter Bunny taking over and hijacking Easter? And you got your fuzzy little digits into everything, like like all this, like, why are you here? And why does everyone love you? And we're like, forget, like, Jesus is being pushed out because of you. And the Easter Bunny is just like, can't we have both? Like, can't I stay and Jesus remain too? And like, can't we work together kind of thing? So I love that script. It can be done right beside each other, and like it's fun. I want to see it. So do it. It's so much. So do it. And then message me and like take a video and be like, who did it? It's so fun. Or do it on your couch with your husband.
Yeah,
and him, and it'll be great.
Are we done yet?
Be like, you just spit on me. Anyway, so all right. So the last one that I'm going to say is a collection called The Last Days, and it has, I think it's about 5 scripts. This is 2 narrators, and again, that direct address. And what I love about this script is that the narrators, like, they're telling the story, and then suddenly they'll break into like character and be like, and then he was walking down the street and he yelled, and so it's not just like do. I'm the narrator of this story. They each get to step into roles, and they're yelling like, Hosanna, Hosanna, and then the next moment, they're Judas, or they're Peter, and they're a rooster crowing. And so another one that would work great side by side, in person, distanced, or on a split screen, pre-recorded or live. So there you have it.
That's a great.
I like to do finger pistols.
Yeah.
Double.
Yeah.
Double wave, finger pistols.
So from Becca Wimmer, we have Notorious to Glorious. Check out that series. And then you also have The Story. It's THE, capital THE, story. And then You Can't Have Easter Without, and Easter Bunny Interrogation. And what was the last one, Becca?
Did you say The Last Days collection?
The Last Days collection. That's I have it right in front of my face, and I just didn't even make that connection. It's
welcome
right there.
to my world.
So check all those out. Skitguys.com. There it is. We got a little Easter
Don't
egg
forget.
going on there. Love it.
Growing.
You got to type in the Easter egg too.
What's next? I can't wait. Hey, while we're talking about Zoom-friendly scripts, I wanted to mention another one that's on our site from writer Katie McMahon. She's our Australian. We have an Australian on our team who's a writer. Katie wrote a brilliant script called Rescuer. It is a full-length play, but it was already written before any of this happened, with incorporating video into it, and it has like video. It's a modern day telling of Passion Week, leading up to the crucifixion. So the disciples are leaving testimonials like you do in reality TV sometimes, and it's them talking to the camera. So she has included with her play instructions on how to take that whole play and make it into a Zoom-friendly production. And it's so well written. It's such a good story. Obviously, it's the story of Jesus, but there's this one precious scene with Jesus and Mary, and they're talking over Zoom, and he's like, "Mom, turn the sound on. You're on mute, Mom." And so they have that kind of back and forth with Jesus and Mary, and it's so sweet. So also check out Rescuer on skitguys.com. Be sure to check that out. And before we move on to Mr. Paul, Dave, you have also a brilliant script. It's called Thief of Hearts, correct? Am I saying that right? Thief of Hearts?
It is, absolutely, yeah.
On the site. It is a full-length play. It is such a good story. And I can give away the kind of the twist, because these are for people buying the scripts. Cover your ears, Becca.
I know the answer. Wait.
It's the story. You should know the answer. It's the story of the thief on the cross. So, and kind of his origin story from Dave's imagination. So it's so well written. The plot is amazing. The characters are so good. Also a smaller cast, right, Dave? It's
smaller
not
cast, yeah.
a huge cast. So it's absolutely doable right now to make that available for your church and for your community. Could also be done in an amphitheater outside. I'm just thinking about, in my city, we have an outdoor theater. And surely around Easter, hopefully everybody will have better weather outside. I know my northerners and my northeasterners up there, Rachel and
snows on Easter.
I know you have to dig under the snow for your Easter eggs, don't you? So
I hate when that happens.
I know. So
That sounds
be
awful.
sure and check out those two full-length plays, Rescuer and Thief of Hearts. So well written, you won't regret it. And so next we have Mr. Paul Neal, all the way from
West Virginia. That's right.
Hey, man.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Paul.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about a couple. One that I actually had not mentioned before is one that can go for Christmas or Easter, and it actually makes a nice transition. Even at Easter time, it's called the Veil is Torn, and it sort of starts at the manger, but then it says it's purely a narrated piece. It's sort of abstract. It happens out of time, and it says, let's move from here at the manger over to the temple, and let's see what's happening. And it sort of paints the picture of how the temple looks and what the priests are doing, and then talks about the veil that separates the Holy of Holies, and works down through Jesus' ministry, and sort of has the concept, do you think that the veil knew what was coming? Like each time that Jesus took a step closer toward his mission, did the veil weaken a little bit? Until at the moment of Jesus' death that it ripped. It's very easily done. I actually found a recording where a group did it for Christmas this year, Easter this year. I can't remember which one, and they did it via recording, and it was all just audio, and they'd pulled in public domain images and sort of made it a video. So that's something you can do with a lot of scripts. Really, you could make them just a voiceover to other imagery. I want to talk about a couple of series that I have. Letting Go is my new one this year. We used it for Lent last year. The first 3 or 4 we did in person, and then COVID hit, and and the others we videoed, just straight videoed and put them as part of it. Included them as part of our online service. They each take place in a different time frame, and they're not overtly Eastery, but they all tie in. Letting go of popularity, letting go of it's all things that Jesus had to let go of to fulfill his mission on earth. And so, like the first one is a miner from the 1850s, a gold miner. There's one that is a pageant girl from the 1950s.
It's so good.
I love it.
Us together. There's one that's an event planner from the 1990s. So, and these are the kind of scripts that you can. I think 4 of them are for women and 2 of them are for men. One set in the 1970s for a man.
I gotta jump in here, Paul, because I have to tell everybody this is so different. If you are looking for something that's different and different stories to tell, and I think these scripts anytime, the characters are, it's just you time hop, and it's from different eras, and it's so brilliantly and beautifully written. Paul, you did such a great job with those. I'm so excited.
I really love those scripts. Because one of them, just as behind the scenes thing, is based on my great aunt.
It is.
Oh, cool.
Who back in the 1920s, she began traveling, or in the 1930s, she began traveling with an evangelist, a female evangelist, here in West Virginia, who traveled all over and planted churches and was her companion for the rest of her life, took care of her. So it's based on her. So I really like that one. And then another series from a few years back, it's called The Things of God, and it's each one ties to an object that Jesus would have interacted with, and it ties it into modern times. There's a coin, there's a cup, there's a thorn, there's a sponge. It's just very, very simple objects. And what we did when, again, pre-COVID, we passed out a little bag with all these things in it. But they're also things that people would have in their homes. So if you're doing this over video, then it's something you could just say, hey, gather these objects, hold the cup, hold the sponge, squeeze it.
Love that.
It's very tangible. It's got that sort of hands-on, and it really made an impact for our congregation. I've heard a couple others that had a similar experience, just because it does. It ties in, and I love doing that. I love anytime we've had other people write things that have sort of a different sort of, not just listening and watching. It's got that other sort of sensory element. One of the things you can do with these too is you don't have to do them on Zoom. We love Zoom scripts because they do have that immediacy. It's almost like Saturday Night Live. Anything can happen when you're on Zoom, but you can also pre-record and get it all absolutely right. If that's the sort of the feel you're going for. There's some software that helps you stream once you've made a video. OBS is an open source software you can download. I think it's online broadcasting system, but it's just OBS. If you search for that, you'll find it. And it lets you have sort of mixed different sources. vMix is another one that does something similar. And then when you're recording these, one of the real advantages of doing things on video is that you don't have to memorize it. If you have actors that are good at reading, they don't need to be familiar with it. But for iOS, and I think for Android as well, there's a software called Prompt Smart. Which we use, and one of the things I love about it is your actor could do it all on their own. Once you input the script, you can film with your front camera, and the script will scroll over your video, so you can. Cool. It's really nice, and it follows your voice. Very inexpensive, but there's also some free versions of other things like that. If you are going to do that, try to get an external mic. You can get those on Amazon. I just ordered one today for a project we're doing at our church. You can get a little external mic that plugs into your Android device or your iOS device for $20, and you can clip it on. It plugs right into your phone. It gives you that closer audio, so you just a richer sound. Because video, phones do fantastic at video, but audio is really what can make or break the profession.
Yeah.
No.
And then one of the best things about all of this too is with Zoom, you can black out just instantly. You can just do that. Yeah. There you go. Here we go. Dave's script he was talking about, he could just say, you know what, it's gonna be great. Yeah. And then he's gone. So you have that built-in blackout. With Skype and Zoom, awesome. You can do the blackout. So anyway, but yeah, that's just some stuff that I think are.
Love it. Paul's our technical guy. None of us are technical at all, and Paul's got some skills, so we're happy to have Paul. And
we're planning to put something out like each day of Holy Week.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so good. So good. And Paul, if as people are watching this, we'll put Becca. Come back, Becca. Can you hear
She was frozen there for a second. She was just like,
"Oh
this
no!"
This may be legit. Oh, there she is.
You didn't touch anything. I don't know what happened.
We'll have those things you just said, those super technical-y things in the comments there that people can find the names of those apps at least in microphones, so available for you. So thank you so much, Paul. So you have check out Paul.
Awesome.
So much. Check out Paul's series Letting Go and Things of God, and much more from everyone here at skitguys.com. Thank you so much. And you can also there's a drop down menu at the top of the page website that you can click on Easter. You can browse and find the subject of Easter. Have all these scripts on there. So anyway,
I think Becca's just not listening to us, so she can draw. That's what it's doing.
She's just like, drawing. She's
just doing away. She's just like, what? You talking to me? What? I'm drawing.
Just doodling.
What? Why don't you off again, Paul?
All right, moving on. Next we have Miss Rachel Benjamin. Hey, lady.
Well, this is fun, and we're all laughing a lot. And kind of like what Rebecca was saying, sometimes it's hard to for Easter to get a script.
It is difficult, yeah.
But we all did something. I think it was last year where we all got together and said, "Let's do a series together."
Yeah.
And so I have
Easter
one.
Is yeah.
Rebecca has one. Dave, Paul's writing one. Been writing.
Yeah.
Right now, he's writing on. He's
I was not a team player last year.
I don't know. I think Carrie
Yeah, I did. I just
got it right now. I get this idea. That's great.
Well, mine, some of them are serious and some of them are humorous, but they're all totally different perspectives and they're really fun. And mine is Easter is mushroom soup. And it's just a story of the first time I had Easter with my husband's family, because they're Polish and we're Italian. And I always had leg of lamb and a 3-course meal, and they have mushroom soup. So it was very different. And I kind of really back to Easter. Yeah. In-laws are going to watch this. And I'm positive. But I haven't done the story. I don't think they've read the monologue, but I'm just thinking.
Well, now they know. Now they know. Tell them not to order. Don't you have don't sell it to them.
Editing.
At least it's not called Easter isn't mushroom soup. That would be offensive. Yeah, it's Easter is mushroom soup. So.
I love it.
So it's funny, and it's just I relate it back obviously to the resurrection, the crucifixion, and new life. So and it was the first Easter we spent together. So there's that. That's humorous. Yeah. Clearly.
That is humorous.
The second thought I had was I have a series called the Easter Story series. And there's a Monday, Thursday story, the crucifixion story, and the resurrection story. And they're all formatted exactly the same. So each of them have 3 actors, and there are 3 monologues that are corresponding. So the actors are kind of talking on top of each other, like finishing each other's sentences, but they're not talking to each other, they're talking to the audience. It's written so that the characters are not meant to be near each other. So they're supposed to be socially distant. So you can have fun with that. One character can be on the stage, one can be in the balcony, one can be behind the audience. Or if you want to do all 3 of them for one service instead of like on Thursday, on Friday, on Sunday, you can kind of have your audience walk through an Easter story, because it literally tells the story right from the Gospel of John. So my thought was to have a room that had the Monday, Thursday story, and have the actors in that room, another one for the crucifixion, another one for the resurrection story. So then not only are your actors socially distanced, you can socially distance your audience. You can put in like family groups in each room, or so many people, and each script is only 5 minutes. So they don't necessarily have to sit down. I mean, they can, but if they don't, you don't have to sanitize stuff. They kind of just walk through the stories, and then like don't go in the next room to the other group has left, and then maybe all end up in a sanctuary or end up where someone's giving a final message. But that would be really interesting, and it takes you through Thursday to Sunday, and that's was
such a good idea. That's close to my heart. I love anything that gets you out of your normal setting. So we just did for Christmas, my church just did the intent was to do a drive-through and have each car stop at a different station, like in five cars at one time. And all throughout our parking lot, we had like 5 different stations of the Christmas story of On the Way to Bethlehem was kind of the theme of it. And so we had Gabriel, and then Mary and Joseph. We had a well that was built and a donkey. And they were telling the story of that they were on their way and what had happened, and that the angel had visited them, all that good stuff. And then the next one we had the shepherds, and then the next one we had the innkeeper, and then the last one we had, it was the manger. And unfortunately it poured down rain, and it was like it was like 30 something degrees, which never happens that early in December in Dallas, Texas. But there we were. So we had to move it all inside, which means we had to really sort of think even harder about safety. So we spaced it out all throughout our church. We just brought all the sets inside. Unfortunately, we didn't get to have the donkey at the well with Mary and Joseph, which was super bummer. But they don't let you do that.
Was happy about that, right?
They don't let you do that. Bring a donkey into the church. So but it was great. And we had families that were together instead of like big groups of people. So they came through, and I mean, we were doing one after another, but it was amazing. And we had people at each station that would sanitize everything once everybody left. Doorknobs, we had doors open, made sure we had rooms where there were 2 entrances in and out. And so it was doable. It was a huge success that we had. And we have so many series, including yours there, Rachel, that are good for those sort of traveling performances, the walking through the production.
Yeah.
So Rachel, tell us again what scripts you've got. You talked about the Easter Is series. Yours is Easter Is Mushroom Soup.
Yes.
I love it. And then your second one is called
The Easter Story.
The Easter Story. Super, yeah.
Not to be confused with The Story,
No,
Yeah.
right.
which is
Exactly. With the
Story, yeah.
capital TH.
Story.
No,
The
no.
Story, Crucifixion, and then the Resurrection Story. So I think they're on there separately, but it's a part of a series.
Yeah, and a couple of more series that you can check out that lends itself to that traveling sort of through your church production is one from Paul Neal called I had it written down. Oh, a snapshot of Good Friday. Oh, can you imagine having that on Good Friday? And the brilliant thing about having those traveling, those sort of progressive performances through your church is you can have like a day long or 2 day long setup. It doesn't have to be just relegated to one service. So you can have people come through in small groups, and then you have guides that tell them, all right, move on to the next one, move on. So people aren't like milling together in small spaces, which is the biggest safety issue, is the smaller spaces and a lot of people. So
and if one thing about that too is if you are blessed to be in a church where you have more actors than you need, and often we all know it's easier to cast women in a lot of times, but if you have women who more women than you can cast, if you did do a day long, 2 day long thing, you could double cast. You could do it in
highly
shifts.
recommend double casting. It's so hard, just from experience of having done that over Christmas. It's a lot, especially if you're not used to acting, if you're not an experienced actor. It's really hard to sort of let your energy fade after time. So I would recommend that as well. Switch out, have somebody do it for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then switch out with somebody else. And so yeah, that's a great idea there. So check out those series. And also I want to make mention, Skit Guys, Tommy and Eddie have a new series coming out called Believe, and it's their new Easter series. And you should also check that out. It is a video series, but we also are including the scripts with that. And it's just stories, beautiful stories.
I wish we knew what was the website again? There it is.
There it is. If only we knew.
With another Easter egg, 2 Easter eggs.
Yeah. So be sure and check all those out. Hey, again, if you have ideas, or if you've been listening and you've done something that we've said, or maybe it just sparked an idea in your brain, leave a comment. Let us know. Don't let the conversation end. It can keep going. We want you to be a part of this. Let us know, because sharing is caring. Am I right? I'm right.
And if you do any of
right.
our scripts, any scripts
Sharing
that
is
you
sharing.
do,
Sharing is caring.
include the title, and if you put it on YouTube, include our titles, and then we can watch what you did, and that's so exciting for us.
Yep, we want to see it. Yeah,
pretty cool.
So fun.
We are so excited. So listen, hey, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, one of the things that we're trying to get across here is that just we as writers, we have different ways that we write things, different ways that we see things, and the people who aren't here right now. So when you're putting together whatever it is you're presenting, you may want to like take from different writers and say, okay, one of the ideas I had is if you're doing an outside setting, have separate staging areas where one play is over here, or one skit's presenting over here, one's a kid script, one could be just, music and worship and then kid music, and really deliberately potentially choosing different writers, knowing that one person's going to listen to Paul and be like, Paul, I know and love Jesus now because of you. And then they're going to listen to my script and be like, she's crazy. Like, that does not connect with me. And that's just how it works. So like, just taking that on and that just saying, okay, let's take a little bit from here and using all our scripts in a really kind of mishmash sort of way has good potential.
Put an offering plate in front of each performance area. Have people drop in dollars based on which one they like best, and then let us know. It's a fundraiser. Everybody wins, right?
It's a fundraiser and a competition.
Exactly. Yeah, it can go to hand in hand.
Exactly.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh. So yeah, there's plenty of ways to use creativity throughout. It really is become, just the Easter season with Good Friday and Lent and Good Friday and then Easter. And I never really, this is so funny, I never really knew about Maundy Thursday until I started working for the Skit Guys. And Rachel, I think it was even you that wrote the script, and I was like, I need to research what Maundy Thursday is, because
Maundy Thursday, Good Friday, Pancake Tuesday, Fish Friday, Taco Tuesday, everything.
I get them mixed up sometimes. Yeah.
It just keeps going. It keeps going. You do. So anyway, all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We've had a blast. We hope you have too. Oh, what a great way to end.
I know.
This. Look at you. What Eddie and Tommy would say. Using your creative best, and we want you to use your creative best too. So check us out on skitguys.com. Let us know. We want to hear from you.
We do.
Thank you so much. Have a great Easter.
Thanks,
and guys, he is risen. He is
risen indeed.
Okay, we're gonna try that again one more time. He is risen.
He is risen indeed.
I love it. Okay. All right, guys. See you next time.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.